I would like to talk today about mistakes. I think one of the biggest human mistakes is to give up. More than 95% of people make mistakes after they finish school. But as I shortly mentioned in my earlier video, which by the way you can see if you click above, we don't get an appropriate education. That's the core of our first bigger mistakes in life. After that comes a mistake on a mistake, and suddenly we hit with our head in the whole hill of mistakes and figure it out what we've done. Then comes the second big mistake. We give up, start crying, hating what we have done and trying to change something. But there are two things. Number one, trying is nothing. You can be trying for the whole life and not succeeding. Would it be okay if you tell yourself in 40 years something like that? It's okay, I've tried, it wasn't meant to be, or I didn't have luck. I don't think so. I don't think you would feel better if you use that excuse, because the fact would be, although you have been trying, you didn't achieve it. You didn't enjoy your life like you wanted to. In my opinion, it would be even worse, because that would mean you are a loser because you needed 40 years to achieve that goal and you still didn't succeed. The thing number two, you do change something, but in a false way. You have a feeling maybe that you were too wild, you have lived too risky, made too many parties, and so on. And then you are looking for one safe job, and again you're trying to save some money from your job, from being an ant in one company working like crazy and not being happy. But your excuse to yourself could be like, okay, I have to pay because I've lived without a plan till now. That's all false. It's completely a false way to handle the situation. How do I know that? I know I'm relatively unknown person, so I will share my story with you so you can see how easy actually is to say stop and to turn the new one, the right page, and make the right steps to the life each of us deserves. I was just a typical child who has lived in a family where my parents had to work a lot to be able to give me and my brother and sister at least the basic things we need. I don't want ever again to be in the situation where I can't buy myself and my future family anything I or we want and deserve or need. So I haven't seen my parents sometimes for days, and I was living one certain period of my life with my grandparents and so on. I don't want to go too deep, but I would like to give you the example that no matter in which situation you are or you were born, you have the same chances to become successful as rich children have. I will explain to you later why. So firstly, when I was at the point where I had to decide what I want to study, I was scared by people like family, relatives and others who told me how some nice jobs actually not reachable for me are. So I got scared and chose to be a waiter. Yep, that was me about 17 years ago. Of course, the school was one big nothing and I learned one big nothing. So I did one next step. I decided to take a new way and started to study economics. After the college education, after I achieved a master's degree by myself, this has been the first time in my life I felt like proud of myself. So I took a first real job. According to what I learned, they are full of energy and enthusiasm to do something big, but this never happened. Why? Simply because college gives you nothing really important. It's just like Elon Musk says, college is just on paper, means nothing, but it's one nice way to feel important and temporarily proud of yourself. Nothing more. College doesn't give you the knowledge and possibility to become successful. You have to achieve that with your own bare hands. After all, experiences in life and business are those points that make you rich, not theoretical knowledge. Theoretical knowledge doesn't even reach enough to write one slim successful book. So, I was born in a small after-war land, Croatia, and after studying I moved to Germany, where I have started from the very bottom. Can you imagine? I started to work as a waiter even with my master's degree. But anyway, after a while I started to earn a really pleasant amount of money, and that's the point where I started to make new big mistakes. Because of lack of knowledge about money, I didn't save any amount of it. I didn't invest any amount of it. I was just buying cars and expensive things, living from day to day, from month to month, working 10 till 12 hours a day. But soon I've started to be unhappy with my life, and every time I wanted to change something, I fell into the salary catch. What I mean, every time I was unhappy, I wanted to quit the job and do something, but my employer gave me more money and I stayed there to work, but at that point, even harder. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the period of my life where everything started to go unbelievably bad for me. I couldn't stand it anymore. My body and my mind were destroyed. I started to dive deep into problems until the point where I lost my job, couldn't find a new one, my girlfriend left me, my car was stolen, and I stayed alone in debt. I wasn't able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. For the first time in my life, any other problem that I experienced seemed small compared to the actual one. When I now look back to this point, I see no problem at all, because I've had the same chances to become successful as I have now. But the point is, I realized I was at the bottom and at the lowest possible point, and I had to change not only some things, but I also had to change my whole life. And we are talking about routines and everything I used to do for almost 28 years of my life. How did I do that? Well, not easy. I was broke, so I didn't have a big amount of money to invest. I had to plan literally every euro I had. But the advantage of modern digital time is that you have unbelievably much content online and for free. You have just to look different when you're online. You have to make your creativity free. So I started to invest about 5 euros in some ebooks. Some ebooks I took for free. I wanted to research what is the difference between me and the most successful people in the world. And you know what? Actually, I figured out that there is no difference at all. Everything is about your mindset, but I will explain it in my example. I was still physically the same person as before, but my mindset started to change for 180 degrees. I started to realize where I made mistakes and why I'm still at the bottom, why I'm not successful, why my dreams are still my dreams, not reality. After that, I accepted my reality, I accepted my mistakes, I started to be proud of myself because those mistakes gave me a lot more knowledge than any of my diplomas, even more than my master's degree. Everything I tell you didn't happen overnight. It took some time to get this precious knowledge, but it's definitely worth it because in the end, I changed my mindset. I created and installed in myself the magical mindset. I set myself to be compatible with the law of attraction to be able to become successful. After that point happens something incredible. In the first place, I'm unbelievably happy. I can feel what I never could before. I found my perfect partner who's supporting me for the whole time. I started multiple businesses which started to show some great results, and I can definitely say it works. More about that, more about my business comes soon. I'm extremely excited to be able to share those things with you because I want to give you everything you need to become successful. I want you to experience everything the most successful people experience. If we say the most successful people, we probably think the richest people, but that's not only 50% of true. Money is no guarantee for happiness, but it helps a lot. Without money, let's be honest, you can't be happy because you'll be constantly under pressure on how to survive from month to month. You'll be just a hamster in his wheel, running and running but going nowhere. Do you know what's the most important thing I've learned from the mentioned story and this experience? It's the awareness of how much talent and potential I have. I shocked in a positive way even myself, so I wouldn't actually change anything even if I could. If you like this video, hit like, share your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel if you still didn't, because there's a lot more to come. See you!